tonight because as all of you know, I will be there for 6 more months. But there was a couple comments that were made that I just wanted to give you guys heads up on. As far as planning to plan or whatever you want to call it, I mean, I think that the community should very much be involved. I'm very pleased that so many folks did show up tonight. You really do need to make your voice heard, and I appreciate the comments that have been said tonight. There was one, though, that I wanted to point out. There is a change coming with the commission as a commissioner, but prior to that, and I don't want you to think that it's related to the planning to the plan, but we do have a mandate from the federal government coming in. We have to reauthorize the floodplain ordinance by November. And I know that's going to be a sore spot, and this couldn't have come at a worse time, but we do have to redo that ordinance by November. And all I would ask is, defeating that floodplain ordinance at this point will cost your neighbors in the floodplain in the county limits. It will cost them their flood insurance on their homeowner's insurance. So please, whatever you're going to do with the planning to plan or the zoning, try not to take it out on the floodplain ordinance, because if we're not in compliance with that, and I know that there are issues, Mr. Alderman, I realize that, and I would like to work on those. We do need a better system, and this ordinance gives us that chance to do that. Please don't take it out on the floodplain ordinance, because you will be taking flood insurance, national flood insurance from your neighbors who live in the floodplain, and some of those folks can't help live in the floodplain. So that's all I'd ask, because I do have to get that done before November, and that is going to require 3 readings, guys, just like this. So that was one of the things that I wanted to point out to you, and that's all I have to say tonight.
Thank you. A quick question, I'm not familiar with that flood ordinance plan. Is that something the county commission votes on, or is that an ordinance that goes up for election?
No, that is generally an ordinance. The way it was passed before, Mr. Alderman, you can help me with this, is it goes for 3 readings, just like a town ordinance, and you have to have 3 public hearings, and it is something that is voted on by the county commissioners. It did, the very first time it went in, it did go through several elections and cost some commissioners theirs. I think there was a period of like, what, 8 years? It went back and forth. So I'm hoping not to do that again, because if we don't have a floodplain ordinance in place, areas outside of the municipalities of Hillsborough, Durbin, and Arlington will not be eligible to purchase flood insurance through the FEMA National Flood Insurance Program. And every flood insurance policy goes through that. They're all with the National Flood Insurance Program, which is NFIP. And so even though you might get it through your local agent, they are brokering it for the National Flood Insurance Program. So what we have in place right now is to the 100-year floodplain level, which is kind of a minimum. That's not flood of record, and it requires, some of the key points of that are that if you do more than a 50% rebuild of your property, then you have to elevate it above the 100-year floodplain, or you're subject to being out of compliance with it. And also, you're not supposed to build at all in the floodway, which is very close to the waters, and those are delineated. We're supposed to be getting new maps. In fact, I think there's copies of them in the commission room now. And you're supposed to go through a process, and most of the banks and any kind of lending agencies are doing this. We do have a floodplain manager. It's contract, but it's kind of almost volunteer. Donald McNeil works on that for us. We do have copies of the ordinance as they are now, and a permit process. If we know that they're clearly not in the floodplain, we don't make you fill out the application right now. And it's usually mostly used during the loan process for properties. And that's what we have in place right now.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rita. Is there anyone else who'd like to make a comment?
I think the commission candidate who's in the room should be invited to take a position on planning and zoning.
Well,
Mr. Clifton.
it's only people who signed up and want to make a comment.
I agree with that, Marty.
I just want to say thank you very much for coming this evening. This showed me 2 things tonight. One, that we have some tremendous cooks in this county, and if you missed the meal, you should have come early. And the second thing is, democracy is alive and well. This was a terrific meeting. Everybody expressed their opinions. Mr. Dean made a good point. The commission works for the county. The commission is not trying to tell the county what to do. The commission is simply having a dialogue. This evening was a great example of what discussion can be and how we can go for it into the future. We can talk to one another. So I thank you all very much for coming, and I greatly appreciate your contributions this evening. Thank you.